Roberts Wesleyan was able to get on the map and show everybody that, we're just not a small school from Rochester, New York, that we can compete nationally.
We're all excited for each other, and we knew that if we stuck to our values and being a family for each other, that we would have fun no matter what, and we just wanted to give it our all.
Being at that highest level of play, just to end like that and say wow, I made it to the Final Four, that's amazing.
It was a season of firsts. We've been saying that all year. Every week, it seemed since April to May, we were accomplishing something new and having another first.
The Division II Women's Lacrosse National Semifinal.
Being a senior and just knowing that that was the end, it was heartbreaking, but I did know, and I was able to look at all my teammates and know that we all left it on the field and we all played our absolute hearts out.
It was a season of uncertainty, a season of change, a season of life.
Can you say final?
It was also a season of national success and a season unlike any other. A season inside the story of the 2020-2021 Roberts Wesleyan women's lacrosse team. The Roberts Wesleyan women's lacrosse team showed great promise in the spring of 2020. But like every other college team in the country, the 2020 season was stopped because of the COVID pandemic. The team was back on the field in the fall, but the 2021 season was still a question. Would the Redhawks miss another season? Or would they get to play?
1, 2, 3, Redhawks!
We had to prepare for everything just to make sure that we're able to get a full season out for these girls that missed it last year.
Please wear your mask and stay in our bubble. This is our bubble. Trust me, this is our bubble. Don't need anybody else, honestly.
We had to be just very extra cautious, especially right here at the end, going into the Final Four, of just really staying with each other and trying not to socialize with really anyone else other than the people on our team, which was definitely hard for us at times, but we knew the sacrifice that we were making was for lacrosse.
And we had to get tested. Last week we got tested 3 times. And you just hold your breath and make sure, and that's a testament to the kids for staying safe and trying to do the right thing.
We were being extra careful because we knew what was on the line and what was at stake.
By late winter, the season was on, although COVID was still a concern. Protocols were followed, and the Redhawks were ready to play. However, head coach Kristen Paolini was not present, and for good reason. Kristen delivered 8-pound daughter, Lonnie, on February 4th, 3 weeks before the start of the season.
It was great to be able to spend that time with her and to enjoy every moment. But I did not like watching the season through a computer screen. It was great and it was hard at the same time.
She was still a part of our team every second. She was always texting us captains and FaceTiming with us after games and after practices and having her input. So she may not have been there, but she was always there with us.
With Kristen at home with her baby, assistant coach Pete Bell became the interim head coach. And on February 26th, the 2021 season began at home against Walsh University from Ohio.
It's a blessing we're out here. Let's take advantage of it. Play for each other. We're family, right? Play as one.
40 seconds in, a sign of good things to come. Lindsey Brinkle scored to give the Redhawks the lead. Taylor Nathan scored 4 goals, and Roberts won 15-10.
All fall we practice and we really couldn't have any scrimmages or any competition, so we've been looking forward to game day for so long. We were all so pumped today, and we're just so pleased with how we ended today.
Redhawks on 3, 1, 2, 3! Redhawks! Great game, guys! Woo!
The Redhawks' next game was postponed because of a COVID-19 issue at Gannon. The game was played on March 14th, and Roberts, ranked 23rd in the nation, was led by Madison Bell, who scored 3 times and assisted on 5 other goals in the 20-4 win. Bell is the daughter of interim head coach Pete Bell.
I coached Maddie since she was in 3rd grade, 4th grade. And you know, I never thought I'd coach her again. So to have her come back and be a part of this was just so special. It was great. It was fun.
He's a dad of one of our players, and you could just tell that we all became his daughters. Like, we were literally just one tiny little family. You could just tell that we all loved each other.
The Redhawks continued winning through the month of March, and they were 3-0 when they traveled to nationally ranked and East Coast Conference rival Mercy College. Lindsey Brinkle scored 2 early goals as Roberts built a 5-1 lead. But Mercy came back strong in the second half, and they took a 10-8 lead with only 3:33 left in regulation. Then Madison Bell assisted on this goal by Alexis Grant with 2:05 to go. Moments later, it was Brinkle with her 3rd of the game to tie it with just over a minute remaining. They went to overtime, and the Redhawks pulled off the upset. Madison Bell scored the game winner. 11-10, Roberts won, improving to 4-0.
During that game, everybody was like, okay, like, we got this, we can do this, like, we're making something happen. So I think that's like the game that everybody was just like, it's gonna happen, we can do it.
The calendar turned to April, and Roberts looked to extend its winning streak against Deauville on the home turf. And for the first time since the start of the pandemic, some fans were allowed in for the game. Taylor Nathan scored 5 times. Alexis Grant scored 4, and the Redhawks won 23-4, improving to 7-0 on the season.
It feels awesome. I mean, most of our goals are assisted, so it just feels nice that we were able to include everyone and that we were getting everyone touches. And we play for each other every game, so it just feels nice when everyone can get on the field and we can cheer for everyone.
After a win at Deauville, Roberts hosted Malloy on April 17th. Ellen O'Neill with a pass to Emily Tomai for one of her 4 goals. Madison Bell scored 5, including this one coming from behind the net. The Redhawks improved to 9-0 and 5-0 in the ECC.
9-0, it's amazing, you know, we just keep going. It's like we can't be stopped, and we just keep so positive, and I love this team. Like, we're doing amazing.
Just our energy is what sets us apart from other teams, and I really think that's what makes us who we are, and that's the type of culture we have, and that's why we are 9-0 right now.
5 days later, the Redhawks hosted Grand Valley State in a showdown of 2 nationally ranked teams. Roberts was 21st. The Lakers were 8th in the nation.
Well, I pray that you help each of us to really rise to the occasion and play our very best, and we give it all to you in Jesus' name.
With snow coming down, Lindsey Brinkle passed to Alexis Grant for an early Redhawks lead. Grand Valley came back to take the lead at halftime, but Roberts then went on a run. Jessica Giancurcio scored on the free position goal. Taylor Nathan scored the Redhawks' 4th straight, and Roberts scored an impressive 12-9 victory. The win streak was now at 10 straight victories.
Going into this game, I mean, we focused on it the whole week and knew that they were ranked number 8 and they're still climbing up the polls, so I just think this is a great confidence booster for us.
We got down a little bit, the game was back and forth, and they fought through and really, again, finished the game strong. And that's kind of been collective the last few games. We can continue to do that. Man, I got to tell you right now, it looks like we can play with anybody. Hopefully it continues.
I think that'll definitely be a win that I'll never forget. At the time, Grand Valley was ranked number 8 in the country. So when we were able to come out on top against them, I think that was a really like a defining moment for our team, and we realized that we can do this and we can achieve greatness.
Saturday, April 24th was Senior Day, as the Redhawks honored 7 players who helped move the program to national prominence. Kristen Palini was back for the ceremony and the game against Bridgeport. In the first minute, the Redhawks were off and running. Gian Curcio to Bell to Lindsey Brinkle for the goal. Roberts never trailed and improved to 11-0 overall with a 23-2 victory.
The seniors and the graduate students started when the culture was just beginning and just kind of building. So they got to build with the culture and bring in the underclassmen with them. So as they gained confidence over the years, they brought everybody else with them. So they're huge to our program.
The win streak was stopped at Mercy at the end of the regular season. But this season was far from over. May 6th was the date for the first ever home playoff game for Roberts Women's Lacrosse. The Redhawks hosted Malloy in the East Coast Conference semifinals. A tie game early was broken when Kelsey Simmons scored this goal for the Redhawks. Roberts goalie Natalie Areno made a big save, and she had 13 in the game. Lindsey Brinkle with a nice setup for Madison Bell. She scored 4 times. And Emily Tomai finished the scoring with her 3rd of the game. And Roberts advanced to the ECC Championship with a 15-7 semifinal win.
It feels amazing because we've never won a postseason game in ECC, so being able to go to the championship and play Mercy again and show them what we're made of is unbelievable.
Let's go. Playing on Saturday is going to be exciting. I think the girls are looking forward to it. They know we've played Mercy twice before, so we know how they're going to play hard against us, and we know what we need to do. We just got to put a full 60 together. Yeah, 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 yeah. We're going to the championship!
The Redhawks returned to Dobbs Ferry, New York for the 3rd time this season. The 2 teams split the regular season series 1-1. This time, it was a showdown for the conference title. Roberts built an early lead. Emily Tomai scored 3 first-half goals, and the Redhawks stunned the host Mavericks with a 7-1 lead at halftime. But Mercy came right back in the second half, scoring 6 straight to tie it at 7-7. It was tied again 9-9 late when Jessica Giancurcio fed Taylor Nathan for the go-ahead goal with 2:33 left. And that was the game winner. Roberts defeated Mercy 10-9 for their first ever ECC Championship.
It was just the best feeling ever because we played our hearts out and it was finally paying off, and it was just so, like, you could kind of take a deep breath almost.
The Redhawks are the champions of the ECC this year. They come out on top.
It was amazing. It was like a unique experience. I don't remember most of it, but kind of just that feeling that we did it and everything that we worked for and accomplished for really came true.
It feels amazing. When that buzzer went off, we just all celebrated the way we knew we were going to. We knew that game was ours, and we knew we worked so hard this year to deserve that.
A day after the ECC title came the official announcement.
East Region now, where Roberts Wesleyan is the host. They are the top seed.
Roberts was headed to the NCAA tournament.
Sprint to the end of the line. Let's go. It's Monday. Come on, come on.
The Redhawks then returned to practice on Monday to begin preparing for their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. And Roberts, the top seed, was a host for the East Region Championships.
Game day, Elite 8, let's go.
On Sunday, May 16th, the Redhawks look to continue their historic season. They lined up against Bentley University, champions of the Northeast 10 Conference. The winner would advance to the NCAA Division II Final Four.
Let's get them out of their game so we can play our game.
Roberts scored first and then took a 3-1 lead when Madison Bell passed to Emily Tomai. It was tied late in the first half when Kelsey Simmons scored the free position goal, and the Redhawks were up 4-3 at halftime. The Redhawks never trailed, and Jessica Giancurcio finished the scoring with this goal, and Roberts Wesleyan won 10-7, celebrating the East Region Championship and a trip to the NCAA Final Four.
It's an unreal feeling. I mean, I'm just so proud of my team and proud of our coaching staff and proud of each other for just pushing on and pushing us to new limits every single day.
Honestly, with COVID, it's changed a lot of things, but this team has become my family, and we've come even closer through everything that we've been through. This last year, we've really just come together and realized how much we can do when we put our minds together and we're all towards one common goal. And it's the greatest thing to know that you have people behind you and that when you're one family, you can achieve anything.
I think that we took everything step by step. So just seeing it now and taking a step back and saying Final Four, it's a dream. It's been a dream season.
With graduation set for Saturday on the Roberts campus, the Redhawks and their seniors headed to Salem, Virginia, and the NCAA Division II Final Four.
In those first few days when we got to the field and just seeing what the NCAA tournament looked like was just amazing, and I kind of was speechless because I couldn't believe I was actually there.
We went to do COVID testing and they let us all walk out on the turf, and we all just took pictures together, and we were all so excited to see all the championship weekend banners and the Red Hawk and our names, and it was awesome. It was an experience I'll never forget.
What a ride to just be down there and be involved in all of it, and it was great, and the kids were just excited and we were excited.
Remember why we're here, ladies. Let's work hard, okay?
The Redhawks prepared for Lindenwood University of Missouri. The Lions, at 15-1, were the second-ranked team in the nation. The Final Four games were held at Roanoke University's Donald J. Kerr Stadium. The national semifinals were played on Friday, May 21st. The start was not what Roberts wanted. Lindenwood scored the first 4 goals, but the Redhawks settled in. Kelsey Simmons scored 2, and Lindenwood led 6-3 at halftime.
And the finish.
The teams traded goals in the second half, and even though they trailed as the clock ran down, Roberts played until the final whistle. Emily Tomai scored with 3 seconds left to make the final Lindenwood 12, Roberts 9. The unforgettable season was over for the Redhawks. Lindenwood would go on to win the national championship.
Didn't have enough time to score 4 more goals, but I mean, just playing to the end is part of our culture, and playing every second as hard as we can is what we're going to do till the end.
The kids played through everything. I mean, never stopped, never gave up, never quit, and her throwing that goal in with 3 seconds left was just encompassed the whole year.
I was proud of the girls coming off the field because their heads were high, and you can tell that the expressions and the tears on their faces were because they put everything out on that field.
If we're going to lose to Lindenwood, we at least can lose knowing that we lost to the eventual national champion.
They didn't expect us to come back like that, but I think keeping that score so close at the end showed we can compete with the highest team in the country.
Roberts traveled back home on Saturday while graduation was taking place on campus. The long bus ride was actually fun. And during one stop, the seniors created a makeshift graduation ceremony.
So when the coaches went in to get us Chick-fil-A, we all snuck underneath the bus where all of our luggage and bags were, and we had all packed our graduation caps and gowns, and we just wanted to take pictures and have it be a special moment because there's no one else I'd rather graduate with than my team.
I never thought that I would be at a Chick-fil-A graduating, but it was just a funny moment and something that we wanted to do just to have a laugh.
I think it was perfect. I mean, no other way I'd rather graduate. Missing the ceremony, sure, it's kind of sad, but having that opportunity to be in Virginia, to play in the Final Four, I'd graduate at Chick-fil-A any day to have that, yeah.
You will forever be the first team in our history to make it.
4 days after arriving back, the team was invited to President Porterfield's home for a celebration of their season and a special graduation ceremony for the Redhawks seniors.
Since I've started, I think the seniors have said year after year that they wanted to miss graduation because that meant that they were either in the ECC tournament or they're making it farther in the NCAA tournament. That was like their goal, was to miss graduation to be able to continue to compete.
Seniors Emily Tomei and Lindsay Brinkle were named All-America by the Women's Lacrosse Coaches Association. Tomei, Brinkle, Madison Bell, Jessica Giancurcio, and Madeline Walsh were named All-East Region. This special team finished 14-2 overall, champions of the East Coast Conference, and the first ever Roberts Wesleyan team to play in the NCAA Division II Final Four.
You have to have the right culture, you have to have the family-like atmosphere to actually succeed at what we try to implement. So I think that was a huge reason why we got to that level, is because we were able to prepare to be there mentally, but also too with the family-like feeling that we have as a team.
Continue this awesome journey with the girls that we love. Amen.
You don't just flip a switch and you're successful. This has come from a lot of hard years, and a lot of our alumni too, that struggled, quite frankly, but they fought through it and they passed down through the kids that, the seniors and juniors are on this team now. It kind of was passed down through, and I think that really helped us believe in ourselves.
Just so proud of how far we've come through my freshman year, just making all this history up until my last year and making it to national competition. So just proud and grateful for all of that.
So much of the reason that we were able to make history is that our team has just such an unbreakable bond. Our team is so close. I truly feel that we're all like sisters.
We did have all those experiences together, and we love each other. We're a family, so it was great being able to experience that all for the first time together.
This year was just setting the stage for what's to come for Roberts Lacrosse. I mean, I think their potential is so full now, and they're gonna go and do great things, and I can't wait to watch.
We really made history with the way that we played, and being able to be there and put Robert's name out there and show that we are more than just a small town school in Rochester, New York.